I'd hoped a barricade would prove unnecessary. Thank you for coming so quickly, William.
Happy to help.
Speaking of which, I should probably come inside.
Absolutely not. I won't have us both in danger. We must consider Susanna.
You must consider your safety as well.
I promise I'm taking every precaution necessary. No, I really must go. I love you. I will call again. Hello?
Julia, I'm glad I've reached you.
Is everything all right in there?
I wouldn't go that far. But I believe we've identified the source of the illness.
Oh, very good.
Yes, now we just need to discover what illness Mrs. Puglia has.
Did you say Puglia?
Yes, that's right. What's wrong?
Julia, your patient may be the reason for some tension out here at the barricade.
How so?
Men working for Fabrizio Puglia, an organized crime boss, wanted in. Perhaps your patient is his wife?
Well, more likely his mother. She's quite elderly. What's odd is her other son, Pietro. He's been quite keen to get her out of the hospital.
Julia, Pietro is also part of the gang. I need to come inside to get to the bottom of this.
No, William, he's shown no sign of being dangerous. Unless you have hard evidence suggesting otherwise, nothing has changed.
You are a stubborn woman, Julia.
Especially when protecting those I love.
All right. But telephone me the moment you so much as get a bad feeling from this Pietro Puglia.
I will. William.
I know we'd agreed that I would remain outside, but given that you've lifted the quarantine...
It's fine. Truthfully, I'm amazed you waited this long. Actually, you have good timing. I think that Pietro Puglia may be giving something to his mother to make her ill.
Oh? Well, if that's the case, then perhaps Fabrizio's men wanted inside the hospital to stop him.
He has this bag, apparently full of home remedies. I'd love to get a look inside of it.
Given his association with the Seton Syndicate, we'd be wise not to tip him off to our intentions.
Agreed. Do you have any idea how?
As a matter of fact, I believe I do.
Poison my mother? No, I would never.
Then how do you explain us finding a potentially deadly chemical in your bag of home remedies?
What are you talking about?
This, does it jog your memory?
It's just pain cream.
That's dimethyl sulfoxide.
Well, whatever it's called, it's not poison. My father, rest his soul, he swore by it for aches and pains.
And you've been using this on your mother?
For stomach aches, yes.
Stomach aches? She didn't mention that, just trouble breathing.
What is it? What do you feel?
There's a large mass. It mustn't have been visible on the X-ray. Why on earth didn't you bring her here earlier?
My brother wouldn't let me. He has a terrible temper, and I was worried what he would do if I didn't listen.
We're about to find out. Get away from my mother. No. I said, get away from my mother.
Mr. Puglia, put down the weapon and let her go.
Detective, figured you were dead after our last run-in.
I suppose I'm a difficult man to kill.
Hey, not everyone's so lucky.
No, please, please.
Relax. Relax. Now, nobody's gonna get hurt. As long as I can take my mother out of here.
I don't think we should, Fab.
Shut up! Should never brought her here in the first place.
The doctors found something in Mama's stomach.
Also, something in her blood is making other people very ill.
I don't give a damn about that, but what does he mean you found something in her stomach?
It's some kind of growth. I couldn't say what.
Growth? Well, you gotta take it out. Now.
What makes you think we intend to do anything you ask, Mr. Puglia?
This.
Operating on your mother is not safe. Not for me, not for her. She is very ill.
I'm not asking. I'm telling.
You're certain this protective equipment will keep you safe?
Yes. The blood fumes will not be able to penetrate.
Let's get on with it already.
We'll be able to begin when you've both stepped out.
I don't think so, sweetheart.
The moment she makes an incision, the room will be filled with toxic gas.
I got a mask. I'll be fine. I'm not leaving her alone with my mother.
And I'm not leaving you alone with my wife.
William, you must. It's imperative that you find out what is making Mrs. Pullia's blood toxic.
This heart is already underway.
She needs your help, William.
If you so...
Like I said, no one's getting hurt. As long as I walk out of this place with my mother. Now go.
Julia, thank goodness you're all right. Fabrizio Puglia was taken into custody without incident.
No, but George has confiscated his gun.
I was very clear with him.
So I gather, but I've promised Mr. Puglia that he can sit with his mother until she passes.
You couldn't remove the tumor?
It was left untreated for far too long. But the surgery wasn't fruitless. I found something that may be helpful. Take a look. Do you see the crystals? They formed in Mrs. Pullia's blood as it cooled.
It's a basic structure. Asymmetrical. I believe it's dimethyl sulfone.
Well, what would that mean?
Miss Hart posited that the supplemental oxygen combined with the dimethyl sulfoxide in her blood to create an entirely new substance.
But an excess of dimethyl sulfone wouldn't explain the toxicity.
No, it wouldn't. But what if the dimethyl sulfone was broken down to its constituent parts by some sort of catabolic event?
You would have two ethane molecules, an oxygen molecule, and a sulfur molecule.
Plus extra oxygen molecules because of that which she had been receiving.
But none of those elements would cause toxicity either.
No, not on their own, but if an anabolic reaction were to occur.
A new compound would be formed.
The anabolic reaction could be caused by anything as simple as a change in temperature.
Yes. And if that's the case, then Mrs. Puglia could have been left with this in her blood.
That's dimethyl sulfate.
A highly toxic gas.
One that could cause every single symptom we've seen here today. If we're right, what does this mean for your friend, Miss Cherry?
It means if we begin treatment right away, we may be able to save her life.